Yes, we are.
We're back. Yes.
Back again.
We didn't have a show last week.
No.
I noticed. What happened there?
Well, planning was annoying for one.
Well, you had like 4 people.
Well, yeah, and one couldn't make it, and the other one was like, oh, I can make it, then he wouldn't respond. He was like, oh, I can make it, then he wouldn't respond.
So,
He was like,
okay,
oh, I
okay.
can make it, so he wouldn't respond. And
So
after 3 years,
What about Cheese?
she couldn't make it at all. She's out of town.
Okay.
She didn't know she was out of town. But
And Naomi?
Naomi was more flexible than the other one, but the other one wasn't flexible. I took a gamble on the last day, and I'm like, well, let's see if we can get him. And then she was like, I'm not gonna be able to make it. It's getting too late. And then there was no response.
Then Walden Pond
dropped the
escaped.
ball.
Yeah.
He
Well,
was-
did you really think he was gonna? I remember before
It sounded so hopeful. Like he asked about it at one point.
Yeah,
I was like,
but-
okay, he's gonna be on it. He's like, yeah, just give me like a couple hours heads up. And I'm like, okay.
Before I went
So-
out of town, you came over to pick up the equipment for it
Yes.
all. And I remember you were so optimistic about it. You were saying,
I was. They
you
were
were
all
like, I got 4 people. I told Will about it, and he was so excited.
They all
he's totally
agreed,
gonna do
and then
it.
it came around.
I
and it
believed in
didn't
the other
happen.
2. But Will, it's rare that he actually shows up to this anymore, which is weird. It's as soon as we switched it to like a scheduled thing, he had so much trouble fitting it in. When it was just like, hey, you want to do a podcast sometime this week? It was really easy to get him to show up. So I don't really know what's going on. But what was his excuse?
He just didn't respond. There was no excuse.
Did you get an apology later? Sometimes you do.
No, I didn't get anything. I don't think. Like, I'm not even. He still hasn't texted me since the last one. I'm like, hey, hurry up, we're gonna be on soon. He's like,
I tell you, my favorite excuse from him ever was a couple weeks ago. He had to do a project for a class he's auditing.
okay, oh yeah, because you do homework in the
That
class.
doesn't even
You
make
audit.
any sense at all.
I think I'm telling you, he's just cleaning like the classroom like while they're like learning. He's
Yeah, but
picking up the trash.
does he? What I don't get, and I've even talked to Abe about this, is what are the odds he's just like being Andy Kaufman? It's all performance art to some extent. Like, surely he knows that's a terrible excuse that doesn't make any sense. Surely, like, telling all
I
these.
wonder if he's even like going into this class, or he's just like sitting somewhere watching a movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, think about that too. While we're on that topic, when he talks about having watched, like Apocalypse Now or whatever, he had like a bit of trivia.
yeah.
It's possible he's not
I don't
actually
know.
auditing these classes.
Maybe he just went to Family Video and picked up Apocalypse
Yeah,
Now,
well,
and it's
like,
whatever.
so he moves to Florida all of a sudden. Presumably he's actually going to take classes. When we hear about the classes, he's auditing the classes. Then he's doing homework for the auditing classes. Something's not adding up somewhere in there. This is
I
my
don't know.
concern, dude.
Yes. Well, maybe he's been kidnapped. And
No,
like,
I just
you
wonder,
keep sending
like-
the kidnappers texts, and they're just like, "Well, just get him off the train."
Well, think back to that X-Men Apocalypse review.
That's true. He was awfully excited.
I think he
for
might
the
just be
movie.
trolling us. He might be in
He
Omaha
might,
right now.
yeah. That'd be so funny. He probably hasn't moved at all. We should go check his apartment out.
What proof do we really have, other than the fact that he looks like he's in a dorm sometimes?
That could be any dorm.
Yeah. I mean,
don't know.
I see nothing conclusive. He's never had a window. Did you
I-
notice that?
Hmm.
Anytime he Skyped us, we don't see a window.
I
He's
don't
wearing
know.
scarves.
Yeah, it's true. The scarf is a bit of a giveaway. And berets. I mean, that's not a very Florida hat,
Well, it is, but not in the decade of
Not-
life
not
he's
like,
currently
not like
in.
the wool, like plaid one though. Yeah, on or
In,
whatever. I mean,
in
that's
40
not-
years, I bet you see
yeah.
people that age. He's not quite there yet.
No, not at all.
So that's our excuse, I guess, for last week, because we had a week off for the 4th, and then we were back for a week, and then
He went on vacation.
I got called away
Yeah.
to do things.
How was the great rectangle that is Wyoming?
Yeah, I ended
How was
up
it?
being in Wyoming, and it's very dusty.
Really interesting.
It's nice. It's beautiful. There's not very many people.
Did you drive through the boring part though, where there's just like
it's
nothing?
13
Like,
hours to get
yeah.
to that spot, and yeah, I mean there's
There's not much there.
not much there, but it's pretty. There's not anybody really.
So you have to drive through it in the dark and the rain. So I didn't really.
That's
I didn't get to
different.
see
Yeah,
it if it was pretty.
I was
like,
in
it was
the-
just like a road.
There was
That's all.
sunlight the whole time I drove, so that was nice. It is a long drive.
Yeah.
We got there, and so like Aubrey has it's her grandpa's place, and so there were other like family members and stuff, and I don't know that there's anything that was like particularly super funny. There's like
I don't
horses,
know,
mules.
That runs a.
That's the funniest part. Yeah.
I've been showing everybody at work that. And it's so funny.
Do people like that much?
Oh, they laugh so hard at it. They're like, "Hi, Kevin," it's like that's what does it. Is it's just attributed to Kevin.
Kevin from Grand
It's
Island.
just Kevin. It's like,
Well, yeah, we stopped. It was in Sydney, Nebraska. On the
It
way.
wasn't even in Grand Island. I thought.
No, we stopped.
Oh.
It's Sydney's like 5 hours out because basically to get to this place in Wyoming,
You gotta drive all the way.
you
from
go to
Nebraska.
you go on I-80 and you just
Yeah.
stay on it for like 10 hours, maybe longer. And so, yeah, we stopped in Sydney because we wanted to get like lunch or whatever. It was like lunchtime,
Sure.
I think, on the way out.
Oh wait, you chose Renza?
Well, it was just like right off the interstate, so we're like whatever. Because you don't want it to be longer than it needs to be for a 13-hour trip. Where would you have stopped along the way?
I don't know. Not Renza.
Well, it wasn't entirely my vote,
Oh, okay.
but I mean, so
Is Aubrey a Renza fan? Is that
yeah, whole
interesting.
family's.
Women seem to like Renzas. I don't know why.
I like. Let's put that as a quote. Women seem to like Renza.
I've never
Dating advice from
Yeah,
Chris.
no, it's like so
Renza.
many women I know are like, oh, let's go to Renza. But if I'm hanging out with a couple guys, it's never like, oh, hey, let's go to Renza. You know, but I don't know. It's
Yeah, I
weird.
never really choose to go to Renza. I don't dislike it though.
It's just not a place you choose to go to.
Well, when you go to local, you get your beer rocks.
Yeah, but those are like,
You're like
snack size,
little
fresh
gourmet
made, you know.
Renzas,
Yeah.
But where did you stop when you went past Wyoming? Did you stop in the early
We
section?
stopped at like Chipotle or something, or was it Qdoba?
That's slower though.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it was better food. Makes
Yeah.
you want to take a nap the whole drive. You know,
Is that good?
It's terrible. No.
Yeah, so we stopped there, and I think it was just like, what was it? I ate Runza. I don't even know the quote anymore. It's-
I ate Runza every day for for lunch and dinner for 2 weeks.
It was
it was the greatest week of my life. And it's like Kevin from Grand Island.
Kevin from Grand Island.
He's like,
I
oh man,
like that.
yeah. Well, you know, we have review boards up at my work, and you know, it's like everyone always laughs at them because like either just spelling errors or people saying stupid
Mhm.
crap. You know, it's like the one person was like Panama has the best sandwiches in the world, and then it's like,
Was it sandwiches?
oh, mac and cheese.
mac
that's
and
what it was,
cheese. Yeah, because you said
Panama-
that to me because
Panama's the best mac and cheese in the
apparently
world.
I make really good mac and cheese when
Yeah.
I'm not really trying.
Nowhere
so.
near as good as Panama.
Well, it's me versus Panama. I think is the natural progression of that is I would challenge Panama to a cook-off.
We had someone telling us that there were too many items on the menu board, and they don't like that because then they have to read the menu board before they go up to order.
As opposed to if there's like 5 things.
Yeah, and they just immediately know what they want. Like they don't.
That's a
like,
weird complaint.
Like, yeah, she was saying it gives her anxiety having to stop and read the menu board before she orders.
That's
her food.
that's an anxiety issue though,
I
not
know,
a Panera issue.
But it's like you just step
I
aside.
don't
and
like
read
having
the,
choices.
Yeah, like read the board before you get in line.
She
you
must
know?
freak out like if she needs a job and she's looking at like all the
Oh, yeah,
available
too many
options.
options,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't pick one.
Right.
Now,
It's like, oh man, there are 2 positions open at the same place. Which one do I want?
speaking of the world
Oh no.
and the way things work,
Okay.
I'm getting a little worried about this election. I have to say.
Oh yeah, Bernie's coming back. Did you hear about that? He's back in the race.
It's not really now.
Yeah, he is.
Well, and then new post RNC poll. The RNC was just a mess. I don't know if you followed that at all.
I watched an Eric Andre thing of him just going around the
RNC.
and it was actually kind of funny.
That's probably but it's kind of it's funny in small doses, but then you look at the big picture,
Oh, yeah,
it's
no,
getting
it was
terrifying.
ridiculous, yeah.
I'm scared now.
Really, I don't know. The Democrats are being dumb too.
Yeah,
rigging the vote. And
This is
whatnot.
why
It's
like
this is so.
this
fucked
should
up.
be a landslide easily for them,
Yeah.
and now Trump's leading in polls, and
Yeah,
I'm just
they
like,
blew it, man.
I'm getting terrified.
Yeah,
That's where I was going with this is, are you intending to vote this year?
I don't even know this year.
Well,
I'm a little worried.
My proposal was, well, okay, how likely is it that you're going to vote?
I mean, if I have reason to vote, I will. But I'm still debating.
What if I buy you dinner?
75%.
If I buy you
Why?
dinner, will you vote?
Are we gonna?
Can I bribe you?
No, are we gonna do opposite votes so they cancel out? in the
No.
end? Oh,
No.
okay. No.
Not if I'm buying you dinner.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
If I buy you some King Fong,
yeah.
can we get? You don't even have to vote Hillary necessarily.
Is that who you want?
Oh yeah, well
What?
she's more likely to win. Definitely not Trump.
No, I don't want to vote for him either. But I mean, you can still.
You
put an
you can
name in.
vote for.
I can still vote for Bernie.
No, it's got to be one of the main candidates. It can be
Why?
Stein. It can be
one's
Johnson.
Stein?
She's Green Party.
Oh yeah, she's the new libertarian, right?
Well, no, Gary Johnson's the
Gary
Libertarian.
Johnson. Okay. Never mind.
Jill Stein's the new Ralph Nader.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Even?
I feel like that should be a Netflix show. Jill Stein.
Jerry
is the-
Stein is the new Ralph Nader.
Jill Stein.
Oh, Jill Stein.
Jill, she's a woman.
Sorry.
No, I'll buy you dinner, but you have to vote for one of those 3.
Can you even say this?
I'd
Like,
pref-
is this like a thing you
Yeah,
can
I'm
do?
gonna bribe you here.
Like, I'm gonna let you do it.
No, but I'm not-
And then I'm gonna use this as evidence when I sue you or something.
No, that's stupid. No, because I'm giving you 3 options here. I'm not.
I have so many more options than 3 though. I
Not
mean,
really. They're not going to be all on the polls because
What?
it doesn't quite work. No, not a write-in. I'm not going to buy you dinner for a write-in.
What?
Because it's not going to affect anything.
'Cause-
I want you to vote for one of the actual ones, preferably Hillary because she has the
I don't
best
know
odds.
Hillary.
You don't have to though.
See, that's not why you should vote for somebody. That's like betting on a horse. You don't
No,
vote for someone because
it's,
they're the
it's
best
because
odds.
Trump is so scary to me. I will buy you dinner to vote for anyone who's not him. Do you agree to my terms?
I don't know.
King Fong?
I don't like your bribery aspect. Yeah, whatever. I'll do it.
Okay.
I don't care.
Well, shake on that.
Okay.
Shake on this bribery.
I just don't want to vote for Hillary. I vote for somebody else.
That's okay. Just not Trump.
Okay.
We can agree to those terms at least.
Okay.
I feel better now.
Yeah,
I've got someone
I
not
agree.
to vote for Trump at least. Not that you were like
No,
super
I
pro-Trump
wasn't-
or anything, but
No.
at least the vote's not going to go there, and I can, I feel a little rested assured that that's not going to happen. So
Rest assured.
my rests are assured right
Yeah,
now.
like a double past tense.
Yes. Well, the phrase just doesn't work in the past tense. I don't
No,
think.
not very well.
No. So I'm sorry. It's you remember.
Evil woken assured.
It's more like you say it in the future, like I will rest assured that yada yada yada. Rested assured
Yeah.
seems like the past tense in my
understand,
mind,
yeah.
but did you make it to Ghostbusters by any chance?
No. Oh, I was thinking about going to see it tomorrow, but did you see it?
No.
Oh man, I was.
I was gone. I ended up I didn't think I was going to be gone.
You see
I ended
movies
up
on the
being
road,
gone.
you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's-
Well, Aubrey's brothers are totally anti Ghostbusters because
they're anti-women. That's the only reason.
To be
why
honest,
why
what
you
I-
could not like.
from what I
Ghostbusters.
heard in this case, it actually was,
Oh,
which
okay,
is sad to
never
me
mind,
because
never mind, alright.
I have I feel like I have
Wow.
legitimate crepes.
Gripes.
Crepes.
Yeah,
I want crepes.
You got legitimate crepes against
Like,
Melissa McCarthy.
I got legitimate crepes with you, Ghostbusters. Well, no, like we've talked about it, and I feel like our criticism is not gender based.
No, it's just
What
that
I heard
it's
from
not
them is
the
like
Ghostbusters.
ghost chicks,
Ugh.
sucks. So I'm seeing that maybe I've underestimated the way that other people are articulating their problems with it.
Really,
Maybe there is more.
some people are dumb like that, though. And that's the only reason why they think they hate it.
I think that what I suspect is there are people out there who are reacting against the fact that it looks bad, and they're choosing to articulate it in maybe more of a sexist way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like those are usually, and especially in this case, like the younger kids.
Yes,
like
in this case it was. They were
I mean,
younger.
yeah, they're probably still in that boys versus girls mentality.
Apparently,
It's like, yeah.
I was a little surprised. 'Cause I was like,
yeah, it's just
yeah, but it looks bad. It's not because
yeah,
they're girls.
It just legitimately looks terrible.
It's very, very lazy jokes. The one complaint that I heard from them that I completely agree with is for a movie that's trying so hard to sell, you should see us because you're not progressive if you don't see this. The one black, actress is the
maybe
the sassy street smart one, and the other ones are all white female scientists.
if they think it's getting forced upon them because it's like, look, we're gonna have women do it. I could see them getting defensive in that reason, I guess. But I mean, still, it's kind of dumb. Like,
The fact that they're women is not what makes it
Yeah.
look bad.
no, it's not. I
It's-
just mean that like when they're sitting there and they're they're getting told, oh, you're not progressive if you go see this movie. It's like, well, fuck you.
Oh, well, this is part of what I think. I think that they're
It's like a self-feeding cycle of
yes
everyone hating each other. And
because
it's
they're
like,
not people aren't quite informed enough on what it is that they are being accused of. I think even to articulate what the problem is, and it's just this weird.
yeah.
It's been a
Like,
really
no
weird
one-
marketing campaign.
It's very strange.
I think Sony is brilliant to make it like
Make it a
you're pro women or
controversy,
you're
yeah.
anti-women, and that's all there is to it. It doesn't matter if the movie's good or bad, because you hate women if you don't like the movie.
I want to see that in Morbid Curiosity. It's kind of like my thing right now, which kind of fits with the Ghostbusters.
I'd-
Thing, you know, like,
I'd be okay with seeing it on like a $5 Tuesday.
Yeah. I think I'm seeing Lights Out tomorrow. It should be alright.
Yeah, let me know who that is.
Okay.
Well, let
But the public,
the beautiful people
yeah,
of YouTube
all of you guys,
can learn about it.
I forgot to
next
acknowledge
week.
them in a while.
Yeah, oh, hey,
Hey!
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Hey. We're trying out a late night format tonight. It doesn't.
Yes.
It hasn't quite manifested here yet, but we have a new intro. We've got the new music. We're actually gonna try something different with segments.
Yes, it's,
We-
we I guess Did we actually do that, or are we just gonna do that as we go? How's this working?
We're gonna do that really quick here.
Through.
I'm building you up to our first segment break,
Ooh, segment.
or what do you call it? Ad break?
Ad break.
No, there's the word for
Commercial
it.
break.
First break. I don't know. What is it like in scripting though? I can't remember. Act break
quick-
is what Act break is what I was thinking
Is that
about.
what that's called?
Yeah.
Intermission.
Well, yeah, it could be any of them really, because none of them
Okay.
really matter. Well, we're in YouTube,
Halftime.
but I feel like up to this point, our YouTube presence has been how can we do a podcast with a webcam right there and also try to include people.
Yes.
And we've got this weird combination of podcast energy, somewhat like live radio energy, and I don't know that it's quite working. I don't
So
know.
we're messing with it. We're
Yeah,
fiddling.
we're finagling.
Yeah, finagling.
Finagling.
I always say it with a hard A.
finagling.
Finagling. you know?
Finagling.
Yeah.
We have some crepes with, I think, the
Yeah.
format. So
With YouTube.
we're trying something new to give ourselves a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
In fact, 2 breaks here. So we're going to do 3 segments for this show. And we're going to play an ad in the middle. And I know that people are probably like, oh, why are they doing an ad? Well, I guess where I come from with it is like, it's I get that you don't want to sit through a 30-second ad, but for us, it's like 3 minutes where we can kind of just like sit around and lounge
It's longer
around.
for us.
And then we come back after that 3 minutes, and we've got new material. Maybe we've come up with better things.
It gives
We've
us a little-
rejuvenated.
take a little breather. You know?
Yes,
It's important.
so you get 30 seconds of ads, but you also get 30 more minutes of
You have time to go grab
actual
a drink.
material.
Go get some water. Go
That's
get a
right.
beer.
Yeah, do whatever you got to do.
Go get those pizza pockets out of the microwave.
Start the
It's like,
microwave, and
start
then
the microwave.
when the next
yeah.
segment's over, you can go back and get them out of the microwave.
I mean, you have options now. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
What you really should do is preheat the oven in the first segment.
Yes.
Throw your snack in during the first break, and then when the second break starts, you can go back and get it. You can eat it during the last 15 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
You can eat food.
Then you get dessert.
Yeah.
And
Then after the show, you go get dessert.
then you watch other stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, then you watch the other. You subscribe to movies and stuff. Go through the whole backlog.
Yeah, watch some movie reviews. And
If you haven't seen them from episode 1, you're never gonna be able to catch up.
yeah, how are you gonna know what's going on? I mean, come on.
So we're gonna go to our first ad break.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Wait, are we recording? Are we back?
We're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. I'll make sure real quick. We're back.
Wouldn't be vegetable lasagna
We're back.
without, we
Yeah.
come back, we're like, I don't think we're on.
It's not
I don't
working.
believe you.
Yeah.
Now, there's been some movies, I think, that have come out.
Yes, quite a few, I think, since we've last met up to talk
I
about
haven't
them.
seen very many of them.
No, me either.
So that's different.
I've been kind of going through a little bit of a backlog.
What's your backlog consist of?
Well, it's mostly just stuff I've picked up, like
yes.
half price books, $1 movies. I watched The Informant last night.
Great movie.
That was fun.
So good.
I love that. That was
Everyone,
great.
no one likes that.
Well, it's because people hate Matt Damon. Everyone's like, "Oh, Matt Damon," and they're like, "I'm not gonna."
He's
watch
hilarious in it.
That. Yeah, he is. He's just he's such like a little nerdy little dude.
The
Just like,
gluconate guy, he's out of a job.
yeah.
I love that you can never quite tell, is he way smarter than we think he is, or is he way stupider?
Yeah, he's just stumbling his way through it, but you don't know, and it's like,
I love that every 15 minutes you get those new reveals that you're his plan makes less and less sense the more you go.
Right.
I love in that last scene when I think they settled on $9 million and he says $12 million.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's
was it $9 million or $12 million? You tell me. It's so funny.
well, it's a good point because at one point it said all the money was accounted for. So if it was $9 or $10 million, they should have known, And it's like, yeah,
it's like a mean-spirited biopic, which I think
it's
is
so
what I like so
fun.
much.
Yeah.
It's like we're gonna
make it sound like he might not be behind it all, then he is, then he's not, and then it's like maybe he isn't, then maybe he's not again. It's just kind of
not even adopted.
It's just like what's going on. It's like,
I love when they go to his actual parents.
oh yeah,
Corky's been telling everyone that he was adopted by some rich, whatever people. It's kind of weird. I think it's a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, I got terrible reviews from what I heard.
Yeah,
It's like,
no one liked it. I remember seeing it in theaters and looking at the reviews, and people were like, we thought it'd be a serious, real movie. And
I
I'm like, no, this is
rewatched
great.
Inherent Vice.
Great movie.
I know I had to do it without you.
It's okay. No, it was a long time.
I got a family video not a subscription. It's free, so I mean, membership.
Subscription.
Yeah, so I still have my
So you go to an actual movie.
Yeah, it's
shop.
fantastic. It's a rental place. It's like Blockbuster. Yeah.
But I haven't been in one of those.
You haven't?
Well, I might have been
Oh my
forever
gosh!
ago,
Have
but
you
I never had.
Have you gone to family video specifically?
I've been to Marco's and looked in the window.
Oh man, dude, it's nice. Like they have 2 for $1 rentals and stuff like that. If you sign up, you get half off a month. It's pretty snazzy.
Yes.
They've got new movies and whatnot, old movies.
I'm on the Amazon Video
Oh,
train now,
yeah.
so I don't leave to get my movies.
My internet sucks, so it's streaming videos kind of stutters it a little bit. It's try to stay off that stuff.
Where were you going to do the show?
What?
Where were you going to do the show?
I was gonna either do it at my place or Chelsea's.
Does she have better internet?
Yeah.
So when she dropped out, the rug was really torn out,
that was
wasn't
the
it?
part that
Okay.
really sucked because she's got
We figured it out now.
Mhm.
I understand.
there was more everything kind of fell through and I was just like, oh, this sucks. Yeah.
Will couldn't find the right scarf to wear.
Yeah, he
So he
lost
just
his
dropped
beret.
out.
And he accidentally shaved his beard, so you can't.
Oh God, when he shaves that thing, it's crazy. His face looks weird to me without the beard.
So, I don't know. It looks
I don't
even
know if
weirder
he-
with the beard. It looks just. I don't
Well,
know.
I'm used to the beard. Maybe that's all it is. But something about when he shaves, I'm like, your face looks weird. And I don't know if it actually does, or if it's just that I'm just so used to the beard.
Yeah, you've just grown accustomed to it. You're
I'm-
desensitized to the beard.
Yes, I'm desensitized to the beard. And I noticed that the new Star Trek came out.
Yeah, I heard that.
Star Trek Beyond.
Star Trek and Furious 7 or whatever.
Yeah. Did you see the first two Abrams Treks?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like them?
I thought the first one showed potential, but then they kind of blew it.
Are you a fan of old Trek?
Never really watched it besides the occasional episode here. And
Wrath
there.
of Khan?
Yes, I've watched Wrath of Khan. And I
All
enjoyed it. I feel like Wrath of Khan is just a good movie, though.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any of the other ones, but for some reason my dad was like, "Chris, we're gonna watch Wrath of Khan today," and I'm like, "Okay." You know,
I've seen
why not?
I've seen a bunch of them. I don't know if I've seen quite all of them. Like I know the Next Generation or whatever.
I think I've seen like the occasional episode, like even through Sci-Fi or whatever.
I've seen plenty of the episodes. I haven't really seen any of those movies because I know they did a bunch of those ones. I think I've seen maybe one or two. I've seen. I think
those are all Patrick Stewart ones, right? That's who that is. Yeah. Okay.
I think I might have seen all of the old movies, maybe like one or two otherwise.
Like even like I heard some of them were like awful.
Like the whale one.
I don't even know what the whale one is.
They have to save the whales.
Yes. Okay.
From extinction.
That's fantastic.
I was I'm just not really a big Star Trek fan, to be honest. But I do like Wrath of Khan. There's a couple of them that I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of on board. Yeah, okay.
I specifically remember the episode with him fighting the lizard man. He makes the cannon.
Have you actually seen that episode?
Yeah, I watched the
It
whole
wasn't
thing.
just like on
it's
YouTube.
ridiculous. No, yeah, like like he meets some angelic being who's like, "You're gonna go fight this thing
Woman?
or whatever." Yeah, is it a woman? I don't know.
I don't
I think it was a
remember.
dude. No, it's a dude in like a cloth. He's dressed up like a Roman type thing, like,
So
but
when
like the
I-
white gown Roman, like toga party type shit.
When I think angelic being, I think of a woman. When I
Well,
think
it's
like
like-
toga
yeah.
party, I think of a dude.
Well, it's like super pale, toga party, bright glowing white. He's got like the flowing blonde hair or whatever, and he's like, "We're gonna make you fight the thing." I don't remember what it was called. It had a
I
name.
hope he said it though. We're gonna make you fight the thing.
Yeah, and then he fights the thing, and he tries like punching it. It doesn't do anything. You know, it's just
But you were okay with Abrams' Trick #1.
it was all right. I feel like it was just supposed to be like a setup movie.
Yeah. Well, that's Abrams' specialty though. He's
he's
really
okay with
good
that,
at doing
yeah.
that like TV pilot sort of story.
Yeah, the TV pilot of like a trilogy
of a movie. Yeah, like that's what Force Awakens was, the TV pilot for the new Star Wars series.
Yeah,
as far as
pretty
I'm
much.
concerned.
It was just like we're just setting the stage
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah,
It's not really a story. Like, and then that's why
it's almost as one, but it kind of it doesn't seem to focus on it very much. You know.
that's why I think he is actually good. Like when he creates a show,
Yeah.
he doesn't generally stick with them. I think that's all he does with the movies.
He just gets them set up.
Yeah, like Mission Impossible 3 was like here's the reboot of Mission Impossible for the new way that they're going to be, and that's all it really is. I think that's all he is good at is pilot mentality.
He knows how to start things. But he doesn't know how to finish it.
Well, and they're not even like they're never really a full story. I guess is my problem. It's always like
No.
here's some potential for a story that maybe somebody else will continue and make good.
Well, I've heard it's pretty much the same thing as all the other ones, where it's like, oh, the ship got destroyed again. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, get the
Revenge,
ship
hopefully.
going.
I don't know.
Yeah, Khan's mad again.
It seems like it's always revenge. Like in the new ones, the ship gets destroyed and someone wants to get revenge. Well, okay, I didn't really like the first Abrams Trek. I know everyone liked it. I was like, it was okay. I guess.
Yeah, I give it the okay though. Like, I don't think it's bad, but I mean, I don't really go out of my way to watch it.
People really liked it though, who aren't Star Trek people.
I don't. Yeah, well, it's a generic sci-fi action movie.
There's not a lot of those though.
Well, that's why they liked it. Is because people want to like. You know, like
generic sci-fi.
Like, oh, cool spaceships and rockets and guns and stuff. You know, then it's like there's not much to choose from, so they have to like the few that they're given, and it's
fair enough.
I think that's usually just what it is.
Somehow I got tricked into seeing the second one too, where I was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, it's Khan. Maybe I'll like it. I don't know.
I was hopeful because they're like, oh no, everything you've heard online isn't true. Benedict isn't Khan, you know. And then you go see it, and then like the first thing they do is he's like, I'm Khan, and it's like, oh okay, well there goes that.
Like, hey guys, I'm Khan.
Hey guys, I don't have a ship anymore.
But that Star Trek Into Darkness was not a good movie. It didn't really work.
Their titles suck too. Jesus Christ.
Star Trek Beyond is okay, I guess.
That's terrible. That's such a terrible name.
It's just.
I don't think
cheesy.
it's any beyond than it is like from the other ones. It's pretty much the same thing again.
It's kind of backwards, if anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, we're stranded now, so let's get together and stop the robot.
They all survive. Like
the
they,
rubber
they're
lizard
all
guy.
like shrimp. The whole ship gets like torn.
The shrimp is completely grilled.
Cheese sod, and she was telling me about it. And
What'd you think?
She's like, oh, it's okay. You know, it's like it's good. I mean, it's like a fun movie, but it's not like a good movie. You know, it's like,
I'm at the point where it's okay. I just don't want to sit through a movie where I'm going to get out of it and be like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, you don't want to pay $10 for that.
I don't want to spend the time on it. Like, you know, I'd rather spend an hour and a half looking at what's on Netflix or Amazon Prime than actually watch an hour and a half movie that I'm like, yeah, it was all right.
I was watching some Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I think it's
Vince
fun. Gilligan is a little too slow paced for me. I think
I like Bob Odenkirk though.
I like him.
Great,
I like his character in Breaking Bad, but even Breaking Bad, it was just like
this
moves
a lot
like
quicker.
6 seasons. I mean,
oh man,
Breaking Bad could have been 3 seasons. Could have been like 4 hours, and I'd be like, okay.
I think this one's moving a lot quicker than Breaking Bad did. Like it's kind of him trying to swindle his family into like making him his lawyer. Kind of, it bounces back and forth. But I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I remember people getting upset because doesn't he works in like a Cinnabon in Omaha?
Yeah.
Or is it Omaha? Or is
well,
it Nebraska?
that was his joke that he's gonna like at the end of the like at the end of the whatever season it was, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna start being a manager in a Cinnabon in Omaha, Nebraska." And then this one starts off with him working at a Cinnabon, but I don't know if it specifically says he's in Omaha now.
I remember Omahans
Like
being upset. They're like, "There's no Cinnabon," but there are Cinnabons.
There are,
here.
yeah.
So,
They're attached to Slotsky. It's like
Schlotsky,
right down
yeah.
Slotsky. It's like it's right over here.
It's something funnier. He's like, "I'm gonna be a manager at Schlotsky's." Sounds
Yeah.
funnier than like working at Cinnabon in Omaha.
Someone at work was telling me though that it's not like a real Cinnabon. Like it's like they sell Cinnabon stuff, but it's not a specific Cinnabon store, so it's not the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Like they sell the
but it is
Cinnabon
like
rolls, but it's not specific.
But it's not just the front. It's not like Pollos Hermanos Dos.
No.
Okay.
It's just no. It actually has nothing to do with that. It goes back to like it's just kind of shows.
No, I mean it's not like just the front or something. You're like, it's not really a Cinnabon.
No.
It's not really a chicken store. it's not really.
No,
It's got a meth lab.
he's actually like working at a thing, and this dude's like staring at him, and he's all freaked out because of it. And it's just
I just don't know if I care enough.
I think it's fun.
It's really hard for me to watch a TV show.
Yeah.
I have started
You
one.
keep
though.
talking about it though. You're like, yeah, I was watching this TV show. And it's like, okay,
I don't.
what were you watching?
There's very few.
What
TV
were you
shows.
watching that's so much better than what I was watching?
I watched. Well, okay. I'm more likely to give an HBO show a chance than other ones.
I don't have HBO.
I know. No,
otherwise I probably would.
I'm like, HBO. I generally. Maybe not all their shows, but I can usually find like an HBO show a year.
I feel like they have more interesting
like,
things.
yeah.
They get some interesting stuff.
And I don't know what's going to happen, and I know that like it could kind of be as long as it is, and it could be weird, and so it's a miniseries. So that's when I hear miniseries, I'm like, okay, good. I don't have to spend like 6 years watching this thing.
I don't know. I like a good long TV show every once in a while.
I just don't. I just can't. I can't do it. So it's called The Night of.
Okay. I haven't heard anything about that.
All I knew was like, okay, some crime show thing. I think it was supposed to star James Gandolfini.
Interesting.
And then he died, and now it's John Turturro.
Oh yeah, that guy didn't die. When did that happen?
Like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think he died pre Philip Seymour Hoffman dying, didn't he? Because I remember being like,
I
man,
forgot about some. Yeah.
both of them are dead.
Dang
That's
it,
crazy.
Phil.
Because they both kind of played similar roles. I feel like.
Yeah, kind of like the weird.
You'd be like, if James Gandolfini says no, or if Philip Seymour Hoffman says no, you call the other one.
Yeah, and they both say no. You're like, well, I guess we can't have that role.
Then you call John Turturro.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess.
apparently. Okay.
Jimmy Turturro.
Jimmy T.
Barton Fink.
Yeah. Is that who that is? I watched Barton Fink.
It's very good.
It was on Netflix, but I don't think I watched it when it was
Very
there.
good. So anyway, it's about the first episode is great. You can tell that. Well, first of all, it's called The Night of. So like what I was thinking is okay. So it's gonna be some legal thing, right? So you're like, where were you on the night of? What happened on the night of? Yada,
Okay.
Yada. So The Night of is the first episode is almost entirely. You have this Pakistani guy in college. I think he's like 22, 23, and he wants to go to some party, but he doesn't have a car. His dad is a cab driver. So they're just they're working class, like they're getting by. They're not like super poor, but he's like all of a car. So he steals his dad's taxi in the middle of the night, just because he's like whatever. I'm just going to the party, coming back. On the way, he doesn't know how to turn off the thing that says he's off duty on the taxi, so people keep getting in. And so this one girl gets in, and he likes her. She's acting strange. She kind of invites him to go do other things instead, so he goes along with her.
Oh yeah.
Needless to say, end up at her place.
Oh.
They
Yeah.
They
hook up.
They hook up.
Yeah, there you go.
I was trying to think
They
of
do it. Yeah.
a funnier euphemism
Yeah.
for it. Do it's just not as funny, but they do.
But it's been done.
Yeah, it's been done. And not only that, they're doing drugs, they're drinking.
Oh man.
She's doing the knife between the
shebang.
fingers game.
5-finger
He
fillet.
actually stabs her hand, and she doesn't care. But so okay,
It's a fake hand. No.
you guess where it's going? No, but like so already he's literally stabbed her. There's her blood is places. It's done or whatever. And then he blacks out for a little bit, wakes up in the kitchen, and she has been stabbed a ton of times. She's dead up in the bed up there.
Oh.
The back door was open because they let the cat out. And just
Never let the cat out.
presumably let the back door open.
The black door to the back cat.
Yeah, the black cat back door. And so anyway, we don't actually know. I mean, presumably he didn't do it because we didn't see it happen.
It's based off true events.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But
It's just supposed to be an interesting setup.
what's really cool about it is all of the way that it's constructed is to show, like, to emphasize everything that he touches. Everybody who like looks at him happens to see him. If a camera sees him, so it's completely setting up like what is all the evidence going to be to show, like to build the case against him essentially.
Yeah.
And then you have that blackout for the part that's going to have to be the case for him for his innocence that we don't see.
Okay.
And so then John Turturro is the lawyer who takes on his case. Basically, in order to like try to get money from it, because it seems like a complicated thing that's going to last for a while.
So you get a lot of legal fees.
And so it's a really cool pilot showing all that, and then it starts to build the case, and then like he's in jail, and it's like you can tell it's going to be kind of slow burn. It's 8 episodes, I think.
Okay.
Builds from there. I saw the first 3 episodes. First 2 episodes were great. Third episode gets a little too into like stereotypical prison drama, like the gangs don't like him, they're gonna kill him, he needs protection, and I'm like,
I don't want to watch
the
New Black.
But let's. I don't want to watch Jill Stein as the new Ralph Nader. So I'm like hoping it's gonna be more of a let's figure out what actually happened.
Okay.
And not so much of a prison drama for 6 episodes, and then in the end they finally figure it out.
Over.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm really enjoying the first 3 episodes though.
Okay.
So, if you come across, I'll let you know how it pans out, I guess.
All right.
If it's worth watching or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, thumbs up for that so far. Off to a good start.
Awesome.
You watched Swiss Army Man forever ago.
Yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago now.
You weren't even supposed to talk to me about it, or like on air, because you actually talked to me about it.
But then you're like, I'm just be gone.
And then you didn't talk about it. You didn't do YouTube, so
Tom, I'm just not going to talk about it right now.
Really quickly, throw it out there. What's going on?
It's okay. It's a funny watch. Like it's like you get desensitized to the weirdness a little bit at first, then it's like everything is even weirder somehow, and you're just like, what? And it's I don't know. It's entertaining. I'd say that. Like,
how many vegetables on your layers out of 897?
Oh,
it's almost 900. So just think of it as 9. I
feel like a 6.5 out of 9.
Okay. Paul Dano's great, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he's like it shouldn't be as well acted as it is. Like both characters are great. There's the last scene is like there's this incredibly funny moment, and it's so.
You were kind of telling me that it was almost like despite the movie, you were laughing a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. Not like too spite. Is that what you mean?
No, but like despite the fact that it's a really dumb movie, and there's a lot of reasons why maybe it shouldn't work. Yeah. You did find it consistently funny.
There's a lot of like hilarious moments in it. Like it's just it's how to be human essentially, but it's like I don't know. It's all like the stuff you wouldn't want to talk about being human.
You're selling it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean it's an enjoyable movie. I definitely recommend watching it if you can handle how weird it is.
I assume it's the most fart jokes you'll get in the art house theater.
They're mostly at the beginning, and that's about it.
Oh, it gets the farts out of its system?
Yeah, there's a solution to the farting that comes up.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. Like it's a really funny movie, honestly.
So you sounds like you like it more than you think you did, even.
I don't think I liked it because it kind of drags on a little bit near the end. It kind of like
starts off really strong.
It loses itself a little at the end. It's kind of like okay. I think there's kind of supposed to be like an implied twist in there that's supposed to be kind of subtle.
Okay. Dealing with,
but they kind of ignore it, which is weird. So maybe it's just.
I want to hear the implied twist.
Can I say it on the air?
It's been a long time since it came out.
Okay, how did that movie do? Did people actually go see it?
I don't think anybody saw it. I'll look into it. Keep talking. Let me look into the box office.
I don't know. When I went to go see it, there were seriously only like 5 other people in the theater, and it was just like
it's weird though.
I know it does, but it was surprisingly good.
Made $4 million so far.
What was the budget
domestically? It doesn't say.
For nothing.
Made $300,000.
I'm sure they could show that in Russia.
What?
I don't know. It seems awfully
Is it like anti-Kremlin?
Yeah, anti-fart. Sorry, man.
Let me look on Wikipedia. Might have a $3 million budget on Wikipedia.
That's not bad. Make $1 million.
Well, no, not quite, because split that in half. They've made probably closer to $2 million right now.
Oh, okay. Still.
So, it's.
Well, anyways.
Oh, Mary Elizabeth Winstead's in it.
Yeah, she's the person that. Basically, he has his phone. And Paul Dano was kind of a loser, and he was taking pictures of this girl. And dead body, what's his name? Daniel Radcliffe. He sees the pictures, and he falls in love with the girl on the screen.
Okay.
And he tells Manny, the body, that must have been his phone, and it must be like his girlfriend or something. So they're like going back to go find her. But
back to society?
Yes.
Oh, so they leave the island.
Yes, he leaves the island like in the first couple minutes.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
They leave the island immediately, and the rest of it is them trekking it through the wilderness, trying to get back to like a city or something.
See, I didn't get that at all from the trailer.
Yeah, they don't show like you can't. Well, it's still all outdoorsy, like wooded.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
but
But like the island thing only lasts like 5 minutes into it.
I feel lied to.
The island part is literally just setting up to the title screen. It's like, ooh, Swiss Army Man. And then
So they make it back to
then-
like society though at some point.
almost, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Like we
we can leave it there.
Well, I mean, that's not even like the weird twist part. Like,
You want to give away?
You told me to. I
Yeah.
thought we were
Okay,
gonna
give
do
it away then.
All right, yeah, I was
Let's
gonna
give
do
it away, then we'll go to
okay.
break.
All right, geez, now I want to. Damn. Okay, well, yeah, no, I think the implied twist is that he actually hasn't been trekking through the wilderness to get home. They've been camping out there, stalking the girl on the phone, because like they get to the mainland within the first couple minutes, and it takes them the rest of the movie to get to this house, and it's like right on the edge of the forest. Essentially, like they bust out of the forest, and then there's the girl, and at this point, Manny's found out that that's not actually his phone with his girlfriend or whatever on it, and it's just some dude or some girl that.
But Manny's
Paul-
dead.
Yeah, but he's like talking and stuff.
And it's not just like a figment of Paul Dano's
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Like he may or may not actually be there. I'm assuming it's real, just with like the last scene. Like
I was figuring
everyone
that-
sees him zip off back into the forest, propelled by his own farts or something. And it's
But I figured the twist was essentially somehow that it's some sort of like literal representation of Paul Dano's feelings or something.
it might be. But
Okay.
I mean, like it's kind of implied that everyone else, like there's a part where they're loading the dead body up into like a ambulance and they're gonna take it away, and then like Paul Dano tries to run away with the body because he's like, no, he's my friend, you know. And it's like.
I'll have to watch it before I analyze it. Apparently.
Yeah, but like at the end, like it takes them like 2 minutes to run. Like they've actually had like a little huts and stuff set out in the forest where they've been living and whatnot. And so
Okay.
it takes them like a couple seconds to run from the girl's house back through all the stuff from where they were back to the shore where they landed. So I mean,
Okay.
there's no way it would have taken like the days it looked like.
This movie's not realistic
in
at all.
No, I'm saying it's supposed to be like it's a little
Yeah.
subtle twist that he's actually just been hiding out in the forest stalking the girl the whole time. It's kind of my
That's
guess
interesting.
to it. Yeah.
You've made it sound more interesting than the trailer did, I think.
Yeah, I think the trailers make it just look like it's gonna be a fart comedy, but there's a lot of I don't know. It's just
Weird
more, it's
fart
more of
comedy.
just a vulgar comedy in general. But
Interesting.
yeah,
So
it's worth a watch.
All right,
I'd say
well,
check it out.
You want to go to a break?
Yeah, do I have
That's
to push
cool.
the button?
Yeah. Let's pause this thing.
All
Let's
right.
go to break.
Fade in.
So,
All right.
I found a. You know, we were always talking about Vice News.
Making fun of Vice.
You know, we have all
Correct
these
that,
these
yeah.
witty,
Yes.
satirical takes on the news and
We're all
Vice.
such
and-
fans of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I stumbled upon. I just have a in my. Sometimes I do an outline for the show, and I've got this thing that just says Vice headline.
Okay.
It's just like a heading, and I'll put any down there that I think are kind of funny. So I actually just meant to go to Vice.com, but I was looking at that, and I typed in Vice headline,
Mm-hmm.
and I see Vice headline generator comes up.
Oh.
So I've done a couple. See, I'm gonna read these. I'm just gonna hit it a
Oh
couple
God.
times. Number one, we're anal funneling LSD with Timbuktu's hipsters. I began a life as a representative of the Crips. Why Serbia's answer to Mad Men is just Michael Jackson on
Mephedrone.
Mephedrone.
What the heck? This is fantastic.
I spent Hanukkah in the studios with Pakistani necrophiliacs.
They all sound like real articles too. This is fantastic.
Oh, dang it. Why Iraq's answer to Game of Thrones is just Kanye West on PCP. So they got some.
A little bit of repeat, but that happens.
That's the same thing. I documented a Christian child porn fanatic and didn't stop them from kissing Vanilla Castro. Why being a Bosnian homosexual got me a role on the Tonight Show.
Oh.
Your turn. Read a couple of these.
I began life as a midget stripper in Bangkok, and there was no Lil Wayne. That is fantastic.
All right, we'll do two more.
We strangled Hillary Clinton and set out a bunch of Snapchats. Gosh darn.
All right, one more. Your turn.
Okay. We ignored a teenager on Airbnb who went to Houston and executed their cleaner. What?
All right then.
That one doesn't even make sense.
All right, so that's
That's great. All right.
I think every week we may as well
Have a few, yeah.
just a couple because we went through too many there. I think. I'm like, oh my
Oh,
god, those
man.
are so Hillary Clinton. Sent out a bunch of Snapchats.
I feel like that's something that would happen in this day and age too. Like that's exactly what would happen if someone did that. It's like, oh look, I strangled Hillary. You know,
It's depressing, isn't it?
right? What a world.
I listened to Mark Maron's podcast. Not necessarily like everyone, but like when I see the person I
Okay.
like, I'll listen to it. I've noticed on the new ones, almost invariably, somebody's phone will go off. Not like a call even, but just like they'll get the ding text noise of an iPhone, and it's just normal. They're not like, oh, sorry. Like years ago, when that would happen on the show,
You
people would be
yell
like,
that
oh,
by
I'm
your
sorry.
teacher, and then be like,
Well,
put your
yeah,
phone
yeah.
away.
But,
The producer's screaming at you.
No, but I mean, like on radio and stuff.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to turn my phone off or whatever. So
I think now you just ignore it.
now they do. Now they're okay with it.
It's times they are a change in time.
That's not a good change, though.
Does it matter if someone cares that your phone rings now? No,
We're
that's
so
fine.
used to phones making ding text noises during our conversations
Well,
now that even in art,
I think
we're okay
it's
with
just
it.
it's just one of those things where you subtly ignore and you judge them for it. Like, why isn't your phone on vibrate?
They don't
You're
know.
just supposed to think that. Yeah.
That was what it was a year ago. Now it's just okay. Yeah, that's part of a conversation of listening to the ding text noise of an iPhone.
That's weird.
And I don't like that.
Huh.
I'm upset about that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what else were we going to talk about? You
We're
had a
gonna talk.
story.
We're gonna talk. Kind of. I have a weird occurrence at my apartment. I mean, it's not really a
The
story.
occurrence
I have
at
a- I
Elm
have a-
Creek Bridge.
I have a weird. Yeah, I was thinking about that. That's what I was thinking that. What was it?
Swiss Army Man was going to be.
Yeah. I
he's
thought-
like going to kill himself.
Yeah, and then
Because isn't that like he's hanging in the story and then
he's hanging, and then he sees like, oh hey, there's this guy on the beach, and
Yeah,
so
but
like,
in-
he's like, oh fuck.
in Owl Creek Bridge, or isn't it like they're hanging him?
Yeah,
and
they're
then
hanging him, or he's
He
like-
imagines that he like escapes somehow, but then he's actually just hanging and he dies.
Then they like the last
Yeah.
scene just cuts back to him like
Yeah,
close
that'd
the
be-
revolves.
that's-
That's what I was expecting, right? But no, that's not what happens. But,
What a weird way to tie that all
I
together.
know, right? Yeah. But where we going with this?
You're just like a
An
neighbor.
occurrence, yeah, the occurrence.
The occurrence.
An occurrence.
I have
I
occurrence.
have a new neighbor in my apartment complex, and it's someone who I used to work with.
Male or female?
Male. Well,
Yeah.
there's both. His wife works.
Oh, he's both?
They both. I
It's
worked
both?
with both of them.
Okay.
Because he was the store director at the Hy-Vee I used to work at.
Okay.
So he used to own a Hy-Vee. Now he lives in my apartment complex with his wife, which I wonder, like, I don't know. It's got me thinking, like, what if he's ran into some financial trouble, like they're having.
We're breaking up here. Can this not handle us just talking into it? Ridiculous.
Ridiculous indeed. I don't understand.
Of course, we can't go a full show without some kind
I'm
of
not.
thing.
It
Oh, it
says-
seems working. All right.
It says 0 frames dropped, so I think it's okay.
So anyway,
We should be alright. Anyways, yeah.
anywho,
But yeah, no, my old former store owner lives in the apartment underneath me now. And it's
He
really
just
weird.
is
He
a
doesn't
modest
recognize
man.
me. Like he was walking in the door, and I held the door open for him, and he's like, "Oh, thank you," and I recognized his voice. And I
this is
looked,
before
like,
you
oh,
molted and turned into the new Chris, though.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, but still, it was just bizarre because I'm just like, "Whoa, what are you doing here?" And it's like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't
Is
know.
that the whole story?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
So we'll get updates, see what's going on
Sure,
with this ex Hy-Vee owner, manager,
This is
director.
weird.
That was a weird segue. We go,
Yeah,
we
right.
over this. We go from
Sorry.
me getting mad at new social mores to you having a new
Mores.
neighbor.
Eagles.
Eagles?
Eagles.
Eels?
Morris.
Bees? Anyway,
Zoo.
so
That was exciting. That was my other exciting thing I've done this week. I went to the zoo.
you went to the
twice.
zoo. How
Yeah.
was the zoo?
The zoo's fantastic.
Did
I
you, were
haven't-
these on dates?
One, yeah.
Yeah.
The other one was with the younglings, but
Yeah.
I went to the zoo with someone. She had a zoo pass. I was like, oh, let's go to the zoo. I'm like, okay.
I haven't been to the zoo in years.
Dude, you can feed the stingrays now.
What do you feed
It's
stingrays?
shrimp.
Shrimp.
Yeah, it's so great. All
right.
Eat shrimp. Who'd have thunk? But yeah, no, you pay $1 and they give you some shrimp, and they have this big swimming pool just full of stingrays, little ones. They don't actually have the stingers, so I don't know if they're the other kind of ray or whatever. But yeah, they swim around. You can just pet them. Or you give them the shrimp and they glide over your hand. And they suck your hand. And they take.
That's weird.
It's so bizarre.
Don't they have something where you can go in the above the cages?
They
or something?
do a membership day where if you have a zoo pass, they take you behind the scenes with a bunch of stuff. And yeah, you can go up top of the shark tank and they're the scuba, the manta ray tank.
Cool.
All the other cool stuff. But yeah, it was pretty neat.
I should go to the zoo again. I
You
haven't
should.
gone to the zoo since I was a little kid.
I haven't gone in a long time, and I enjoyed it a lot more now.
I think I would.
It was so cool. Yeah.
I think it's because you have this perspective on animals that you don't have when you're a kid.
When you kind of forget about a bunch of them, you don't see a lot of the
What
crazy.
did you forget about?
Well,
Those giraffes! I forgot about that.
No, some of the weirder crap. There was a snake-headed turtle, which really threw me off because it looked like a turtle, and then the head kept extending. The head went a solid 3 feet out from the body, and then went and grabbed a fish, and was what in the world? And I'm watching it from the top, so it just looked like a turtle, and the head kept going. I'm like, oh, there's no way. It's so creepy.
I think when you're a kid, you look at that, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then you look at it now, you're like, what? How is this happening?
Why is this here?
What?
It's
nature?
Who made you? It's
why won't you die?
it's crazy. Yeah, it was pretty neat. They totally rearranged like everything. Though. Like,
Yeah, I should go. I want to go.
That's definitely worth it. We should go to the zoo.
We can go to the zoo.
We could have a podcast. That's
Zoo episode.
Yeah. GoPros in the zoo.
Vegetable lasagna at the zoo.
I'm thinking I need to borrow the GoPro from Ben.
Yeah.
For the Colorado trip.
Oh.
Because I might go cliff diving.
Oh well, I
That
thought
would be
even
fun.
just for the concert.
I don't know if they let you do that.
Oh.
Because that's bootlegging, man. It's bootlegging a show.
Well, I just don't have sound. Just here's what it looks like.
you put the like the
Put some
you
other
just
song.
play, you just play the album like over
Yeah,
it.
there you go. And it's not bootlegging.
Yeah, it's
Well, if you have interesting experiences, though,
Yeah.
I mean, you could go pro it. Chris Cam.
mm-hmm.
So I think with this segment, our last segment of the show tonight,
Talk about stuff.
we're going to talk about books.
Oh yeah, the literary kind.
We're going to end the show on a very sophisticated note.
Oh yes.
Now that we've finished our coffee and the caffeine is running through our veins, we're talking about books.
We are prepared now.
We are prepared to talk about books now. What are you reading these days? Gone Girl?
Yes, right now I'm on Gone Girl.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I was expecting, I don't know. So I don't know. It's a really easy read. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing like too drastic and complicated. You know, it's not as weird as some of the other stuff I've been reading. So I feel like it's very normal.
I mean, compared to Pollock. Sure,
Yeah,
but
like I just read. Well, what did I just read? Which one was it? Was it
I don't
Fight Club? I think
Yeah.
something else. Yeah, I just read Fight Club because I haven't read that ever. So I was like, yeah.
Well, I just read her first two books, Gillian Flynn's, Dark Places and Sharp Objects.
I saw those, but I didn't grab them. I should have.
Sharp Objects is her first one, and it reads like a first book. It's
Okay.
well written, but it's kind of predictable, and you're like, okay. I mean,
See, I thought Dark Places was the first one. It sounds so much better, Dark Places than Sharp Objects. Yeah,
well,
Sharp Objects and Dark Places. I don't know.
Dark Places is better. Like it's well written. It's got
Okay.
it's a fun of.
What's the gist of the book? What's like the
What, Dark Places?
both of them? Yeah, is it,
Well,
are
Sharp
they- is it like a
Objects-
sequel? Or is
Sharp
it,
Objects is this woman is a reporter who gets sent back to her hometown and all the secrets of the hometown that she's escaped in the big city as a reporter. And there have been 2 murders of teenage girls.
is that a common thing in her book, going from a big city back to a small town? Because Gone Girl's
yeah,
like that
kind
too.
of.
Because they go from New York. to
Dark Places has
Missouri,
some
you know,
elements
it's
of it
like,
as
okay.
well. So I think Gillian Flynn.
Probably did that. So that's
so
like her one.
That's
yeah.
what she knows. Like Woody Allen has relationships between older men and younger women. Gillian Flynn has women
She
who
goes from New
escape
York
small
to
towns.
Missouri.
Yeah,
You know,
that's,
that's
just,
how it goes.
that's her thing.
Some people, yeah.
Some
Different
people
strokes
get
for different
struck by
folks,
lightning. Yeah. So
Uh,
then Dark Places is about a woman in like contemporary times whose family was murdered like as little kids. She was like I don't know 6 or 7
okay.
when her mom and her 2 sisters get murdered. Presumably, everyone assumes, and she also assumes by her brother at the time, who was a teenager, and so basically there's like these groups of people. It's got this Polonic like thing where she gets invited to like kill clubs where these people who are obsessed with these brutal murders, and so they kind of like they'll act them out and they obsessively research them. And so she's kind of run out of money. She gets invited to come basically like share her experience there, and everyone there is convinced that her brother is innocent, even though like there's really no reason to think, as far as she's concerned, that he's innocent, even though she didn't actually see him murder anybody. And so basically it starts kind of this spiral of trying to figure out if there's any chance that he was innocent, what happened. So you've got that story going on, and then it breaks off, and leading up to the event, it tells the story of the brother and of the mom at the time, and you're going through them all as you learn bits and pieces of the story. And so it's a fun mystery where it's not all just working backwards, because you're also working forwards in the past. And then they're all going to kind of,
Okay.
And so it was a really fun structure, really good up to this point. My problem was the reveal annoyed me because it seemed like a cheap
Just an
reveal.
unsatisfying reveal.
Yes, and I don't want to say too much because you'll read it. And
I don't know if I'll read it. I don't know.
I think outside
like, Gone Girl's okay, but I don't know. Like it's
Gone Girl has the best story I think of.
Yeah, I think
It's a really good story. Got a lot of good
stuff.
subtext to it. There's multiple layers. I don't know at Dark Places. I think the thing with Gone Girl is even if I have like issues with the plot, I love the overall sort of satire of it all, and I think it's really clever and funny.
Like couple-y things.
And marriage and all that. So I can kind of forgive any of those things. Dark Places, if it had more of that, I probably could get over the fact that I think it's got kind of a schlocky ending.
I like the structure for Gone Girl. Has like kind of past, present, and future all kind of going at the same time.
I think that's Gillian Flynn is going to.
She kind of perfected it a
there's
little
gonna be
bit with that one.
Yeah, I think so, and I think like Dark Places definitely paves the way for that. I think
Okay,
in a really neat way. There's a lot to like about it. It's just the last few chapters. I was like, oh. The problem with the mystery though is how many mysteries actually have satisfying endings. It's just like,
no, see,
this guy did it, so
That's what's making Gone Girl a little hard. Is I've already watched the movie.
Yeah,
and like that one doesn't really work if you know the ending. Like Fight Club worked okay since if I know the ending.
Well, Palahniuk just shoves so much into the books. Sometimes in a good way. Sometimes it's just let me make this as gross as possible on every level.
I think Fight Club had a good silliness.
Fight Club works.
Like, I think it worked really well. I grabbed a few of his other stuff. I grabbed like Rants and Haunted, I think was the other two.
Those are weird ones. Those are very weird.
I know, yeah. I read the little synopsis, not the synopsis, but whatever, the little thing on the back for Haunted, and that sounded interesting. And
Haunted is very disturbing.
And then I grabbed what was it, Damned or Doomed, or whatever the first one was. It was on like the $2 rack.
You'll tell me if you like that. I
don't know if I will, but I figured it's another good one to have on the shelf. And then I got some.
They're short at least.
Gravity's Rainbow. That's on my next list too. I think I'm gonna read that one next.
I think Damned was the last Chuck Palahniuk book I read. I was like, I'm tired of this. Because he used to have a book out every year, and so I'd read them every year, and there were multiple years where I was like, this new one not good. Find Damned, I was just like, all right, whatever. Yeah.
I'm trying to get caught up on all stuff. So
it's arguable whether it's worth it or not, though, because he had a little period where they were good, I think. And then he had an experimental period where they were at least interesting, and then he just, I don't know.
Yeah, well, in the bookstore, like, I bought Ranch, it's like, that's my least favorite Palahniuk book, and I'm like, why would you tell me that? You know, it's like, I just bought it, like, it's like, you don't tell me that like you don't right now.
I was at PetSmart yesterday, and we were getting, like, cat food and then Finch food, and the lady,
Finch food.
So the cashier, she's just like, I think she asked, like, what is it, canary finches, or, like, finches, and she's like, oh, terrible animals. Just, I hate it. They're so annoying. And then she starts going off about all these birds she hates. And I'm thinking, like, this is so weird. The cashier at a pet store is like telling you how terrible these animals are that you clearly have because you're buying food for it.
She's supposed to like all the animals.
Same with at a bookstore. You're not like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I don't like
why are you buying?
Like, wow, okay. Yeah.
Rant's an interesting experiment. I don't know if the client is good or bad or what, but
there weren't very many options. Like,
I didn't regret reading it.
There were like 20 copies of Fight Club, and there's like a few other weird ones.
Rant's got a cool cover too.
It does, yeah. I got the nice hardcover one. Yeah. Like, oh man, yeah, it was worth it just for that. I think there's some other stuff I grabbed. I grabbed like this huge stack of books last time I was there. It was so bad. Like,
I know. I'm finally at the point in my life where I'm not doing that every time I go to the bookstore. I buy one or two sometimes, but there's plenty of times I go and I don't even buy anything, and I used to feel bad about that
anymore. Like, it's like I feel like
there's so much.
I know. Well, I know there are all these good books in there, but they're buried amongst all these terrible books, and it's like I don't.
I go to the clearance section of Half Price Books, and then anything that's like I might read that at some point in my life, I pick it up.
$1 or $2. That's where I get all like my Stephen King books. Yeah, he ends up with so many books, and they're like $1, $2.
They're always getting it up there because there's so many copies of them.
Hardcover ones too, and it's like hell yeah, I'll take that. Why not?
So like now I've got hundreds of books down there. So
I basically you have even more full library than I do.
I basically have a library, so like whenever I feel like I might want to read that, I can just go get it now. So I'm finally at that point. I don't know if it's healthy or not. I don't have a
big enough bookshelf anymore.
Oh, you'll get there.
I need a new one. I don't want to buy one. Like all my books are like stacked on like the floor, and it's like going up. Like
well, there's probably an argument not to encourage yourself to become so obsessive with it that you create your own library so that you can do it. Because
what's wrong with that? That's a perfectly fine thing to do. I mean, if you're gonna do something with your time, I'm pretty sure that reading books is one of the few things people would tell you. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Ooh.
I guess, but I don't. Is it really that good for your time? I don't know.
It's good for your brain.
Is it?
It should be.
I don't think so.
Maybe you're just like immune to it now. No, you don't get a buzz off books anymore.
I do like reading, but I don't think it's any less of a.
But there are some people who literally can't bring themselves to read because it's too hard for them.
I can't bring myself to play a video game. That doesn't. I mean, is one necessarily that much better than the other?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that just cultural snobbery? Like I want to think so, but I don't know if there's any.
I play video games, but I'm pretty sure that reading's better. Like I mean, I'd rather spend my time reading than playing a video game, even though I do play them.
Like I can't watch a game of football without my eyes glazing over in 30 seconds.
Is that just cultural snobbery, or is that actually better than the other?
This is my question. I don't know.
Not? Even I'd say sports are worse than both of those. Like I don't know. Like sports, yeah.
I don't care about a bunch of guys running around with a ball trying to get it. Like I'm just like I just don't really care.
Yeah, and, I understand. It's not for everybody.
I think people are like that with books though. They're like, I just don't really care whether she solves the murders in her hometown. And I was like, I don't know that that's bad. I mean, you don't have to care. Whatever.
I slightly judge people. They're like, oh, it's reading's boring. I'm like, what if?
My favorite's when they're like, I hate reading, but you have to read The Hunger Games.
I had someone tell me they don't like music, and I'm like, what? Like, she's like, I just don't listen to music.
I've heard people like that.
And I'm like, what? How do you do that? You know, it's like, is that okay? Like,
but I think that's I don't know. People who like sports probably have the same reaction when I'm like, I just can't watch football or any sport really.
I'm like, what? Like, do you listen to anything? She's like, I listen to the radio. And I'm like, oh, it's like, no, you poor person.
Well, that's funny though because we like aspire to be radio stars a little bit.
Yeah, but that's not listening to like music on the radio. That's a bit different.
True. I think we're starting to cut out again. Anyway, we're out of time.
I think it's just the computer getting stupid. I think we're all right.
It's called good, I think.
Did we get to everything?
I didn't talk about stuff I read, but whatever.
I think you might need to tell me those.
Okay, fine.
I mean, we've got time. They sound interesting.
Okay.
They sound more interesting than anything I've brought to the table.
You'd probably like Haruki Murakami. Haruki Murakami.
If I knew the name, I could give you a legitimate answer.
He's a Japanese novelist. One of the most famous Japanese novelists out there right now. Like he's like super popular in Japan.
Interesting.
He's big in Japan.
Okay.
And he, for the most part, writes kind of surreal, postmodern sort of books. They're not difficult to read. Though. It's not like Pynchon.
Okay.
I mean, it's like he has a very straightforward sort of style, but the plots can be complicated, and you can tell that the wheels are spinning in a complicated way, but the way he actually writes it is very straightforward and simple.
Okay.
There's a lot of overlapping themes in the books too, so it's kind of fun to like read them all. Most famous for the Wind Up Bird Chronicle, which I love. The Wind Up Bird Chronicle, I thought that was a fantastic book. And well, I guess
do I need to go to Half Price Books? Is that what you're telling me?
if you see Murakami, I'd recommend
okay.
it.
Then
Pick him
yes.
up.
All right. I'll make another trip soon.
Haruki Murakami. There's other Murakamis though. You got to watch out. It's Haruki.
Haruki.
Harukimarakamami.
I mean, I'll figure out the
Murakami.
Murakami.
Like Muraka.
Like Murakami.
Murakami.
It's like
it's marriage of the two things
Yes.
that don't like each other very much. But not spelled with a C, like Kami. It's with a K,
it's phonetically spelled.
Phonetically, Murakami. If Muraka and communism had a baby, it'd be Murakami.
We're a Murakami state.
We're a Murakaminist. Laugh track. Anyway, so I kind of like you can tell there are things that obsess him for many years.
Okay.
And you can almost break down his books into sort of like he'll write a bunch of books that are kind of shorter and all have similar events or similar sort of like themes, motifs, plots, characters.
Okay.
And then he'll write one really big one that sort of beautifully combines them all.
Interesting.
And so, but they're not like the same characters.
Okay.
But it's sort of like it's almost like he does like 10 test runs and then he does the masterpiece.
This is the big one. Interesting.
And so there's all of them leading up to Wind Up Bird, which
you have to read. Can you read them in like any order for the most part?
Yeah, because the plots
like,
are not actually connected, but
okay.
it's like the same sort of ideas and motifs are in a bunch of them in different ways until finally he figures out here's the big version.
Interesting.
That combines everything.
Yeah,
and so it's cool. It's almost like it's like reading a bunch of rough drafts until he finally is like, oh, here's what it should be.
Okay, interesting.
But they're not bad up to that point either. They don't really read like rough drafts. They're all pretty much complete novels. But so he's got one phase up to Wind Up Bird, and then the other phase up to a book called 1Q84, which is, in my understanding, in Japanese, it makes more sense to be like 1984, but slightly different, and there's not a good translation. So we get 1Q84.
Weird.
So those are his two big epics. It's like, the stuff post Wind Up Bird is all kind of building up to that one, and then pre Wind Up Bird is all leading up to that. But the one that really he broke out and became a megastar for was Norwegian Wood, which is the one I read.
I was expecting like a silly story when I said Norwegian Wood.
No, I got this whole like literary.
I thought it was gonna be a joke. I was like Norwegian Wood, it's some weird story. I knew that was gonna be funny. Yeah,
Norwegian Wood. Andrew Dice Wood.
Adrian Dice Wood.
I said Andrew. I meant to say Andrew. I don't know if I said Adrian, but anyway, so Norwegian Wood was his attempt to write like a mainstream sort of. I don't want to say like romance novel, but it's a love story. It's not surreal or postmodern the same as other ones are, and I really liked it. I can see why. I mean, he's kind of a weird guy, and so his weirdness filtered into a straightforward story I think works really well. Even though he almost always writes the weird stories instead of ones like this, but this one blew up his popularity because it was the kind of book that like anybody would read. So everybody did read it in Japan. They say it's known as the book that everyone in Japan has read.
Interesting.
And it's good. Yeah. Somehow it's good.
Okay.
Because usually, like in America, if everyone's read it, it's probably terrible.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any of them. So I really like Haruki Murakami. Big thumbs up. Really like Norwegian Wood. Got that one done.
What was the other one? Goodbye Columbus.
It's the first book by Philip Roth, who is a famous novelist. I'm sure you've heard of him, even if you haven't read anything by him. Yeah. It's very good. It's a simple love story.
Okay.
And they both. This is like a weird thing. I took these two books that aren't completely characteristic of the authors and read their simple love stories for some reason last week. It's short. It's like 130 pages or something. Really good. If I'm going to talk, let me close the whole show out by bringing it back. Philip Roth wrote this book called The Plot Against America that I read a year and a half ago maybe, and that was about a Jewish family in the 40s. If Charles Lindbergh, known
baby kidnapper, right?
Have you read this one?
No,
it's
but
part of it.
I've heard about
okay.
it's a Lindbergh baby trial. I think.
Yeah,
I've heard about that.
The main thing that this is talking about, even though that all kind of comes in because it's, it's sort of historical fiction, but it's basically America First, this white supremacist, arguably maybe Nazi sympathizer Charles Lindbergh. What if he was elected president instead of FDR in the third term during World War II? So basically, you have alliances happening now with the Nazis, and it's about what's cool about it. I think is it's not really. It's not like a big historical epic novel. It's about this Jewish family as essentially this kid goes from feeling like, he's at home in his country to over the course of the Lindbergh presidency, anti-Semitism grows more, all this unrest all over the place. So as this child, who I think he's like 10, 12 years old, goes from feeling, like he can be in school and say the Pledge of Allegiance no problem to now feeling like a criminal just for being, who he is because the politics of the country have changed. And so I remember reading it, and I think Trump had just started to talk about his president's, his candidacy. And I remember just making jokes like, "Oh yeah, here's the Trump presidency." And now I'm like, "Oh, this book."
He predicted it.
This is exactly what this book is. Only it's Lindbergh instead. Okay. So it's terrifying to me. Huh. So that's how I'm going to close it out.
That sounds fun.
Read that book if you want to see, the next 4 years.
Vote for Jill. Not Jerry.
Jerry. If you vote for Jerry Stein, you don't get the dinner. You gotta actually vote for a real candidate.
Oh. Can I just not vote? That isn't that the same.
No, dinner. I'm gonna get you dinner.
All right.
You gotta vote
does that
though.
do King Fong?
No, it can be anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're gonna leave now. Goodbye, everybody. Should I fade to black?
Yeah.